Hey guys, welcome back to the bake shop. Today we're going to be painting some jigs. I'm going to show you what I use to paint my jigs, and we'll get them thrown in the oven, get them ready to go. Stick around, we'll get into it. Alright, so for painting jigs, as we've done before, we're going to need a heat source, a fluid bed base. This is just the base. The fluid bed will fit into this, and all that is hooked up to is an aquarium pump. I'm sure you can hear the humming. We'll need our jig heads, which we have down beside us. We're going to start with our copper heads. You'll need a way to hold them over the heat. This is just a pair of pliers, vice grip pliers, that I've put some shrink wrap tubing on so that it doesn't damage the hook, and a pair of side cutters. The other thing that you will need is a way to hang your jigs to dry. I do that just in my easy bake oven that I have for the jigs. Okay, so I'm going to try to keep everything in frame so you can actually see it. Go ahead and turn your heat source on. That feels really good. It's getting ready to snow across Kansas today, so that heat actually does feel pretty good. These are the 1/2 ounce 5/0 jigs. I have already taken all of them and put the Teflon weed guards in. We will be doing up 6 of each color today, minus the white, because I do 3 of the white, and I have already done one of those that's going out to somebody. It's the Mr. Red, White, and Blue that I do. So we'll go ahead and set our the copper head on, and it's gonna pop real good. There we go. We want to take one of the jig heads, and we're volcanoing just a little bit, so we want to dial this back just a bit so that it's not coming out. So what we're going to want to do is take our jig, put it into the pliers, hook facing up, keep that release for the vice grips to your dominant side, and have the hook facing up. Then what we're going to do, I'm hoping this isn't cutting off, is you're going to take this, put it over the heat source, and because these are 1/2 ounce, I'm doing a count of 10, because I do want this to coat fairly decently across the head. And that Teflon pin is not getting hurt by the heat. These pins can take up to 500 degrees. And I wave it back and forth just a little bit to cool it down some. Dip it in, swirl, and out comes a painted jig head. Now if you'll notice, I do have the shrink wrap on the eye of the hook to keep it from getting covered. And the reason for the side cutters is so that we can go ahead and grab that, pull it off, and you have a nice, clean jig eye hook, or jig eye hole, with no paint in it. Then you take that Teflon base hole pin, you can kind of spin it around, pull it out. I have a tub of those here that's just an old hook box. Toss it in there, and I'll clean those up when I get done. And there you have it. One ready to be put in the oven. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of these painted up, and I will bring you guys back when we go to do the next color, and then I'll bring you in for a dip of each color, and then when I get them thrown in the oven, I'll get you guys a picture of that, and we'll show you how that works. So we'll go ahead and talk about something that I didn't have to talk about on some other jigs because I didn't have the issue. That heat bar here in the middle does get hot enough to melt your jig heads, and these 5/0 hooks hang down low enough that they touch that middle bar. So you do have to be mindful if you have a small easy bake oven like I do as to where those jig heads are. If they set on it, it'll end up, you'll smell something burning, and then you'll look in there and one of your jig heads will be melting. I did have that issue a while back with my ball head jigs. I have not ran into it with the football head jigs until I got into the 5/0 hooks. So we're gonna go ahead and grab our green pumpkin. That's not green pumpkin, that's watermelon. We're gonna go ahead and grab our green pumpkin. Now I do have them labeled both on top and on the sides so that I know when I do eventually build a shelf to put these on, I can just take a look at what's in them. I don't have to pull them down and look at the tops. We're gonna go ahead and do our green pumpkin though. So we'll put that on our base, tap the side so that it doesn't bubble out. And again, we just repeat what we did. We put all of the shrink wrap tubing on, the Teflon pins are in, and the 5/0 hooks. And all of these have been pre-cleaned after I poured them. I snipped off the excess that was down here around the end, the overpour that was down here around the end, and around the jig eye. And instead of bringing you guys back in for each individual jig color, I'll bring you back in and show you as soon as I'm done, because each one hangs in a certain spot in the oven, and I'll just show you the oven when I'm done. Okay, so as you guys can see, we have our copper, our green pumpkin, our black, our watermelon red flake. We have straight red and red and black, and then our pearl white. And we'll go ahead and get this plugged in and get it running. We've got it set at around 250, and we'll go for about 20 minutes. And I run it at a little bit lower temperature instead of running it at about 300, because a lot of these little mini ovens like this don't keep temperature well with just going off of that, just like any other oven. Every once in a while I will use my heat gun to check and see what the temperature inside is. I usually at 250 run around 275, so I try to keep it lower than what this shows, but we'll go ahead and I'll get this plugged in, get it running, and we'll see you guys when these are done. And as you guys can see here, the jigs are in baking. We'll be back as soon as they get done. Okay, the jigs have finally finished baking. So what I will do is I'll open the oven up and I will let it come to room temperature just with the door open. When that's done, we'll take them out, put them in the jig boxes, and we'll be ready to tie. Okay, so that's the basic on how to paint up the jigs and cure them. This video will be coming out the first day of the new year. Happy New Year from us here at Fat Boy Jigs, Not So Boring Baits, to your family. These will all be tied up and on the Etsy store. We will be doing some different baits throughout the year again, as we can get new molds in, as we can get new plastics in. We'll get those tied or made up. I hope you guys have enjoyed the last about 2 weeks with me here in the bait shop. And remember, guys, try not to be boring.